Hello, my dear students in 4th primary. How are you? I hope you are fine. And now, have you ever watched running races before? عمركم شفتوا سباق جري قبل كده؟ I am sure you did. In these races, runners run for a certain distance till they reach the finish line. So, what do you think there is a relation between decomposing fractions and running races? إيه العلاقة ما بين decomposing fractions و running races? You know, in the previous lesson, we learned how to decompose fractions to unit fractions. Now, do you think there is another way to decompose fractions? تفتكروا في طريقة تانية عشان نعمل decomposition للfractions? This is what we will learn about today in Unit 9, Lesson 3, Break it down again. In this lesson, we will represent unit fractions and other fractions with addition and subtraction. Today, we are going to look at decomposing in a new way through a relay race. So, what is a relay race? هو يعني إيه أصلاً relay race؟ طيب relay race دي هي ريس سباق عبارة عن small team بيلعبوا runs the whole distance. But each runner كل runner only runs a part of a whole. يعني بيبقى مطلوب منهم يجروا distance معينة، كل runner فيهم بيجري part of this distance. One of the team runs a part of the distance وبعدين another runner runs the other part. And so on till they reach or the last one reach the finish line. For example, تعالوا أقول لكم example. If 3 of our friends decided to run 100 meters, 3 team مكون من 3 عايزين يجروا 100 meters. أحمد ran the first 40 meters. أحمد هيجري first 40 meters till he meet عمر وهيقابل عمر. And then عمر ran the next 30 meters till he meet زينة. وبعدين زينة will run the remaining distance till she reached the finish line. يبقى كل واحد بيجري لغاية لما يقابل التاني لغاية لما يوصلوا للfinishing line. This means she ran 30 meters. The total is 40 plus 30 plus 30 gives me 100 meters. هي دي الديستانس اللي كانت مطلوبة منهم ان هم يجروها. This race is what is called a relay race. And in official competitions, all the runners run equal distances. Then, how do your relay races might help us to learn more about decomposing fractions? Now, let's explain this with an example on the board. Let's see it all together. طيب, and now I will draw the line which is for the whole race. تعالوا نرسم كده line. This is the line for the whole race, like this. And I will divide it into equal parts, as you see here, okay? And here is the first x, and this is the second one. And now, as you can see, the line is divided into equal parts, as I said. How many parts are there in this line? And what fraction represents each part? Let's count the parts all together. Here's the first part, second part, third one, fourth, fifth, and sixth. So I have 6 parts in this line. So the denominator will be what? Yes, the denominator is the total number, which is 6. So the denominator will be 6. Now, how much does each part represent of the line? Exactly in this race we had, exactly it is what? 1 over 6. يبقى كل part from these parts represent what? 1 over 6. In this race we had 3 runners. عندنا 3 runners. The first runner ran from the start point to the first x. يعني first runner ran from the starting point till he reached x. This is the start point and this is the end point. Okay? Now, the second runner ran from what to what? From the first x to the second x. This is the second runner ran from this x to the second x. Okay? Now, what about the third one? The third runner was waiting. The third runner ran to the finish line. He started from this point till he reached the ending point. Now, how can we write the fraction of the race each of the runners ran? Let's see all together. The first runner ran what? Yes, he ran 3 parts of 6. The fraction that represents it is what? 3 out of 6. This is the first runner. We said that he ran 3 parts out of 6. What about the second one? The second runner ran only 2 parts. As you see here, he ran 2 parts. يبقى الفراكشن بتاعه 2 over 6, right? And what about the third one? The third one ran only 1 part out of 6. يبقى 1 over 6. So the fraction that represents this one, the third one, is 1 over 6. Now what about the total distance? عشان أعرف ال total distance هعمل إيه؟ Yes, I will add these 3 fractions. يبقى هعمل 3 over 6 plus 2 over 6 plus 1 over 6 equals what? Yes, I will keep the denominator as it is and I will add only the numerators. يبقى هعمل 3 plus 2 plus 1 gives me 6. 6 over 6, which is equals to 1 whole. And in the same way, you can do the race to the finish line activity under Access page 9. Let's see it all together. And now here in page 9, the first thing to do is to determine the number. لازم نحدد the number of parts in the line we have and the fraction that represents each part. Now let's count the parts all together. Here, as you see, how many parts do we have? Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now I have 12 parts. The total number of the parts is 12, right? And that will be the denominator. مش احنا اتفقنا ان denominator is the total number we have. So the denominator here is 12. طيب, the second step is to determine, لازم نحدد the starting and the finish of each runner. كل runner ابتدى من فين وانتهى فين. The runners do not have to run the same distance. مش لازم يجروا على فكرة مسافات متساوية. We need to mark the part each runner ran on the line. هنحدد على اللاين كل runner جري من فين لفين. طيب, runner number 1 started at the start line and met the second runner after running 5 parts. So we will add x and after 5 parts. يعني 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will add the x here. Runner number 1 ran from the starting point till the point that represents 5 over 12. يبقى runner 1 begins at start point and stops at point 5 over 12. Let's move to runner number 2. Runner number 2 ran 3 parts only. So we will add x after 3 parts, right? يبقى 1, 2, 3 and then I will add here x. Runner number 2 ran from the point that represents 5 over 12. يعني ابتدى من البوينت بتاعت 5 over 12 till he reached 8 over 12. يبقى here he begins at 5 over 12 till he reached 8 over 12. مش احنا قلنا he ran 3 parts only? Now runner number 3 will be at the end of the line. يعني runner number 3 ابتدى من 8 over 12 till he reached the finish line. Here he begins at 8 over 12 and stops at the finishing line. Now, how many parts did runner number 3 run? هو runner number 3 كده جري how many parts? As you see here, exactly he ran 4 parts only. We will write here that runner number 3 started at 8 over 12 as you see and till the finishing line. So the total number of the parts is what? Yes, I will add these 3 parts. يبقى هعمل 5 over 12 plus 3 over 12. This is the 5 over 12 plus 3 over 12 plus 4 over 12, right? Plus 4 over 12. So the answer is what? Yes, it will be 12 over 12, which is the whole one. Now, which is the whole distances, right? This is the whole distance they ran all together. And now we knew the relation between, دلوقتي عرفنا العلاقة ما بين relay races and the fractions. Now, let's play a very interesting game to know more about decomposing fractions. The name is called I Have and Who Has. We played this game before in Unit 1 with a group of friends to practice writing big numbers in different forms. Can you remember it? How are we going to use this game this time? Let's see all together. And now, are you ready? Okay, now let's start all together. And now it's time to play our very interesting game, which is called I Have and Who Has. This game I'll play it with 3 of my lovely students. Let's welcome them first. How are you?
I am fine, thank you.
You're fine? Are you ready to play with me this game?
Yes.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay, now let's start. This game, each one of my students has 2 cards. Okay? الكاردز دي فيها fraction وفيها expression. هنشوف مين معاه نفس الفراكشن but written in different way. Let's start. طيب, I will start with you يا يوسف. Can you tell us what's the expression you have?
Who has an expression with a value of 4/5?
Show me يا يوسف. Now you want an expression with value of 4/5. Okay. Malak and Omar, who has this one?
I have
You have? Okay, tell me, عندك ايه يا ملك؟
1/5 plus 2/5 plus 1/5.
Show me كده يا ملوكة. Okay, طب ملك انت قلتي ليه they are the same, they are equal.
1 plus 2 plus 1 يديني 5.
يعني انت عملتي 1
4
plus 2 plus 1 equals 4.
4.
What about the 5?
هنزلها زي ما هي 5.
You mean that 1/5 plus 2/5 plus 1/5 equals 4/5? You are right يا ملك. Thank you so much. طيب, now ملك, can you tell us your expression?
Who has an expression with a value of 7/10?
Show me يا ملوكة. Now you want an expression with value of 7/10. Okay, who has? Omar or Yusuf?
I have.
You have يا يوسف? You have this one? Okay, show me كده يا يوسف. Can you read it for us?
3/10. 3
You can read it and then show me again.
plus 3/10 plus 1/10.
طب ليه قلت يا يوسف they are the same؟ عملت ايه يا يوسف؟
plus
عملت ايه plus ايه plus ايه؟
3 plus 1
Yes.
equal 7.
Yes, you said that 3 plus 3 plus 1 equals 7 over what? Over 10. يعني you keep the 10 as it is? Super يا يوسف. Good boy. Okay, now can you tell us the second fraction?
Who has an expression with a value of 3/4?
Now show me يا يوسف. You want an expression with value of 3/4. Who has this one?
I have
You have? tell me عندك ايه يا عمر؟
1/4 plus 2/4 equal 3/4.
Show me يا عمر. Yes, you have 1/4 plus 2/4. طب انت ليه قلت يا عمر they are the same؟
Because 1/4 plus 2/4 equal 3/4.
Yes, you make 1 plus 2 gives you 3 and you leave the 4 as it is to be 3 out of 4, right? Super يا عمر, good boy. Now can you tell us the second fraction you have?
Who has an expression with a value of 5/12?
Show me كده. Yes, you want an expression with value of 5/12. Okay, who has this fraction? Malak or Yusuf?
I have.
You have this one? Tell me يا ملك, انت عندك ايه يا ملك؟
1/12
Yes.
plus 3/12
Yes.
plus 1/12.
Show me كده يا ملك. Yes, I see this, you are right. But ليه قلتي يا ملك they are the same؟ عملتي ايه يا ملك؟
عملت plus.
Plus.
عملت ال1 plus ال3 plus ال1.
Yes, 1 plus 3 plus 1. You
5.
mean 5 over
12.
Why you keep the 12 as it is?
Yes.
Excellent. We keep the 12 as it is to be 5/12. Now, the last one, can you tell us يا ملك the expression or the second fraction you have?
Who has an expression with a value of 5/8?
Show me يا ملوكة. Now you want an expression with value of 5/8. طيب, let's wait كده. Who has this one?
Me.
You have 5/8?
Yes.
عندك ايه يا عمر؟ Tell me.
2/8 plus 3/8.
Show me كده يا عمر. Yes, I found that Omar has 2 over 8 plus 3 over 8. طب انت عملت ايه يا عمر عشان نقول ان ال two fractions دول are the same؟
عملت ال 2 plus 3.
You add them. 2
Yes.
plus 3 equals
2 plus 3 5.
5 over
8.
That means you keep the 8 as it is, right?
Yes.
5 over 8. Good job. برافو يا عمر. Okay, Malak ويوسف وعمر. Do you like this game?
Yes.
It was very interesting.
Yes.
Okay, I was happy to see you today and see you soon inshallah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, and now let's complete our lesson. And now I am sure you have enjoyed this game played with our friends. You can also play this game with your friends in your class. And now let's learn more about than one way. تعالوا نتعلم أكتر من طريقة to decompose fractions in many ways to break it down activity under build page 9. Now we need to think creatively and come up with as many ways as they can to decompose the given fractions. Now we have 4 problems here. I will answer with you problem number 1 and 3, and you can solve the rest on your own way. In problem number 1 here, as you see here, problem number 1, we have 9 over 12. This means the number of parts is what? Yes, the number of parts is 9, and the total number is 12, which is the denominator. We can represent this fraction by decomposing it into unit fractions. أنا عايزاكم دلوقتي تعملوا لي decomposition to this fraction into unit fractions. احنا اتفقنا ان ال unit fraction denominator is 1. So the unit fraction here is what? Is 1 over 12. So the fraction will be broken down to يعني 9 over 12 equals what? تعالوا نكتبها مع بعض equals 1 over 12. أنا هكتب 1 over 12 9 times. 1 over 12 plus 1 over 12 plus 1 over 12. And let's continue. 1 over 12 plus 1 over 12 plus 1 over 12. Again, plus 1 over 12 plus 1 over 12 plus 1 over 12. يبقى يعني ايه 9 over 12? I will decompose it into 9 1 over 12 as you see here. And this is what is called the unit fraction. Okay, now على فكرة ممكن أعمل 9 over 12. I can break down 9 over 12 in different way. يعني ممكن أقول 9 over 12 equals 4 over 12 plus 5 over 12. هو مش 4 plus 5 equals 9؟ يبقى 4 over 12 plus 5 over 12 equals to 9 over 12. This means we break down the numerator and use the same denominator. زي ما احنا ملاحظين هنا ان denominator I keep it as it is وعملت break down للnumerator only. 9 equals 4 plus 5. So you can decompose 9 over 12 into other fractions. And now I'll give you time to answer problem number 3, and we will review the answers after you have finished. And now after you have finished, let's solve the problem. The first thing we notice is that the fraction is not similar to the problem we have. Let's see the problem number 3. Okay, so to make it very easy, what should I do? Yes, I will write the fraction the way we know it. We will count all the parts and that will be the denominator. مش احنا اتفقنا denominator all the parts. So I have here how many parts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. يبقى عندي denominator is 8, right? And how many shaded parts or colored parts? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the denominator is 7. So my fraction is 7 over 8. And now we need to decide how to break down the numerator. One of you may break down the numerator 7 to 5 plus 2. Then the equation will be equals to 5 over 8 plus 2 over 8. Yes, يبقى 7 over 8 equals 5 over 8 plus 2 over 8. هو مش 5 plus 2 equals 7, and I will keep the denominator as it is. Now you can choose the way you prefer as long as you correctly decompose 7 and keep the 8 or the denominator as it is. Now let's apply. تعالوا نطبق بقى what we have learned about decomposing fractions to unit fractions and other fractions to the sharing popcorn activity under Connect part page 10. And here is the Connect part. Here in this activity, he said that Omar ate 1 over 5 of a bag of popcorn. Omar أكل 1 over 5 of the popcorn. وبعدين he and his brother Amir shared وزعوا the rest of the bag. Here we need to write equations to show 2 ways they could share the remaining popcorn. عايزة أعرف remaining popcorn دول قسموه على بعض إزاي. طيب, I will give you some time to answer problem 3 and we will check the answer together when we are back. And now I am sure you have thought about calculating the remaining popcorn and then dividing it in more than one way. يعني إيه؟ يعني أنا لازم أعرف ال remaining popcorn كان قد إيه. طيب هو عمر ate 1 over 5 of the bag. So we need to subtract 1 over 5 من ال whole number, which is equal to 5 over 5. يبقى هعمل 5 over 5 اللي هو ال whole number minus اللي عمر أكله اللي هو 1 over 5. Oh, 5 over 5 minus 1 over 5 equals what? Yes, I will subtract only the numerator and keep the denominator as it is. يبقى هعمل 5 minus 1 gives me 4 over 5 because I will keep the denominator as it is. يبقى 4 over 5 ده remaining popcorn اللي عندي. طيب, now let's see how عمر and أمير can share 4 over 5. مش احنا اتفقنا ان عمر وأمير وزعوا 4 over 5 عليهم؟ طيب, now if they equally share it, لو كل واحد أخد قد التاني بالظبط يبقى كل واحد أخد قد إيه؟ Yes, 4 over 5 لما أقسمها على 2 persons يبقى each one هياخد 2 over 5 وكمان 2 over 5 gives me 4 over 5, right? طيب, if they are unequally shared يعني لو كل واحد ما خدش زي التاني بالظبط. If one of them for example take 1 over 5 يبقى التاني أخد كام؟ ممكن حد فيهم ياخد 1 over 5 وحد تاني ياخد 3 over 5. هي مش 1 over 5 plus 3 over 5 also gives me 4 over 5. And now let's move to the practice part and you can access it by scanning the codes you see here. Now we can solve problem number 1 and 2 on your own way, applying what you have learned in the lesson. I will do problem number 3 with you. Let's see it all together on the board. Okay. And now the problem says that Ahmed said the sum of 1 over 10 plus 7 over 10 plus 4 over 10 is the same as the sum of 5 over 10 plus 5 over 10 plus 2 over 10. طيب, we need to decide if Ahmed is correct or not and explain why. Of course, to do this عشان نعرف أحمد صح ولا غلط, we will add each group of fractions separately. يعني هعمل addition للfirst equation و addition للsecond equation. وبعدين compare the sums of them. Now let's add the fractions in the first equation, which was 1 over 10 plus 7 over 10 plus 4 over 10. Here I have 1 over 10 plus 7 over 10 plus 4 over 10. You'll write it with me. Okay. طيب, I will add this fraction first. As we know that the denominator I will keep it as it is. يبقى 10 I will keep it as it is. يبقى بعمل addition للnumerators only. 1 plus 7 8 plus 4 equals 12. يبقى this is the first equation. The answer is 12 over 10. Let's add the fractions in the second equation. Second equation كانت ايه؟ 5 over 10 plus 5. Yes, 5 over 10 plus 5 over 10 plus 2 over 10. تعالوا نعملها نشوف السم بتاع الايكويشن دي. Again, I will keep the denominator as it is. It will be 10. And I will add only the nominators. يبقى 5 plus 5, 10 plus 2, 12, which gives me the same fraction 12 over 10. And now I can say that Ahmed is correct. Thus, we have learned more about decomposing fractions to unit fractions or fractions using more than one way. استخدمنا أكتر من طريقة to decompose them. If you need to practice more, you can go to check your understanding part using this code shown on the screen. And now, thank you so much and see you next lesson.